you so much. Here we go. All right. So good morning, everyone. I have the honor to introduce Laura Dodd, the administrator for St. Andrew's Place. She's been with St. Andrew's Place for more than 20 years. The last 10 years have been in her current role as the administrator. St. Andrew's mission to serve seniors with care and compassion while enhancing their dignity and independence resonated with Laura, and she has never left. I had the privilege to get to know Laura during my time at the United Way, and I'm super grateful to have the opportunity to collaborate with her again through Nor'Wester Rotary with our next service project, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So today we'll hear from Laura about St. Andrew's Place, and I won't talk about the service project yet. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Laura Dodd. Hi, Laura. Welcome. We look forward to hearing from you. And you're on
You're
mute.
muted.
There we go.
You're still on mute, Laura.
There we go.
There we go.
There. Okay.
Perfect.
I appreciate you guys giving me the time to talk. St. Andrew's Place is the only assisted living on the Olympic Peninsula that's a not-for-profit, and we accept Medicaid. Currently, we have over 75% of our residents who depend on Medicaid. We've always used fundraising and grant writing to fill the gap because the state reimburses currently at 65% of our cost. However, in July, it should go up to 68%. That's still a huge gap for us to overcome. And because of COVID, we had to stop all fundraising. We continued with our grant writing. And this last year, United Way helped us a lot. We're a partner agency. And the EDC also gave us some money. So that helped us. We have 40 apartments, and every apartment has their own kitchenette. It has a microwave and refrigerator. They have walk-in showers. They're wonderful little places. We have 3 meals a day in our dining room. Plus we provide snacks 24/7. We help with their housekeeping, their laundry, medication assistance, and their activities of daily living, which are dressing and showers. All of these services make it possible for them to embrace what they really want to do with their lives. Just because a person can't remember to take their medication or is not safe to cook doesn't mean their life's over. Okay, we have people that go skiing with their families, they go to the senior center. They embrace their lives and do what they need to do or want to do while we take care of their necessities. COVID has affected our lives greatly over the last couple of years. Isolation was one of our biggest things we had to overcome. Right from the beginning, we had to isolate to our apartments. I think it would have been a lot better if we could have isolated together. However, all of the residents were asked to stay in their apartments. We realized right from the get-go that people who didn't have TV were having the biggest struggle. So we put out on Facebook that we needed TVs, and the community responded. In less than 48 hours, we had enough for every resident that didn't have a TV. They had a VCR or a DVD player. Everybody was fantastic. Amazon stepped up and gave us some Eros, and Angelus Electric donated the people and the equipment, and they installed everything. So then the residents had internet. My staff, everybody does a lot of IT work. Before they couldn't even run a remote. Now I have all this stuff for them. It was great. Besides the isolation, our residents couldn't go to exercise. We've always had a robust activity calendar. So it had exercise 5 days a week. We had lots of outings, shopping once a week, concerts on the pier. They would go to Marymere Falls or Madison Falls. So physically, the first time they got to go to Walmart, it was an eye-opening experience. Most of them needed rest. And But we've gotten back on track and we try and use paratransit because currently we don't have an activity director. So one of the other impacts that we took on was cost, just like everyone else. We needed to have PPE, and that in itself was extremely expensive. I remember one order was over $5,000. To deliver meals to everyone's apartment, we had to take on buying containers, and that was a huge expense, not to mention the waste. We had to bring in extra garbage cans. It was just, yeah, the cost was astronomical. And wages. We can't afford to compete with the other skilled nursing or the hospital because we accept Medicaid. Over the past couple of years, we've lost about 20% of our employees due to them wanting to move to Florida for sunshine or different things. And we've been unable to replace any of them. So going forward, we're trying to re-implement the fun in our lives, and we're utilizing any volunteers. Right now, we have a volunteer for bingo. We have had volunteers for help with landscaping, but we're also looking for volunteers to help maybe drive the bus to Walmart or take on activities. So if you know anyone who wants to share their time or talent, please send them our way. Our residents are extremely fun to work with, and it's a rewarding experience. Last year, we entered fourth quarter about 125,000 in the red. By the end of the year, due to the generosity of individuals and the other agencies, we managed to come out 30,000 in the red, which is a significant improvement. However, we have a long way to go. And we need to implement more of our fundraising and grant writing. So we're always looking for assistance with that. But if there's one thing I could ask of everyone, would be to email your legislators and tell them you would like to keep your seniors in your community. We currently have over 60 people on our wait list that are Medicaid. And so the need is great, and we want to keep them here. And so that's, oh, I had a movie. Kathy, will you play the little movie, which is a family member and her testimony to St. Andrews?
Okay. Is that coming through?
I came across this house with water dripping from the ceiling.
Sorry.
You never know when something like this will happen.
Technical difficulties. Let me take it right back.
Giant dog who lives in a crate freaks out over a cheeseburger. What a video, Laura. I love it.
Actually, we actually practiced this, and sorry, we'll just give me a backwards here.
I appreciate you taking it on.
Hold on here. It's a really great snippet, and we worked to make this smooth and kind of lost along the way. We'll be right there.
Well, Kathy pulls that up. I can give you a little teaser about what we're going to be doing. So we are looking to next month install a custom bench using Norm's fine woodworking skills. So we're going to be creating a bench for St. Andrew's Place for them to sit at while they're outside, because it's COVID times, right? So everyone likes to get outside and gather. So we'll be creating a custom bench, and then we'll be getting some big planters and planting some flowers around the bench with the residents of St. Andrews. So it'll be like an interactive service project with the residents. So it's going to be on Monday, April 25th at 4 o'clock. So I'll send out a little update on that, but please plan on joining us for our next service project with St. Andrews.
My name is Judy Selick. My mom is 101 years old. She is at St. Andrews Place, and St. Andrews saved my life. I had taken care of my dad and my mom and my husband, all three of them, all of them with dementia. And I was tired and I didn't know what to do. I never wanted my family to be in an institution. I was working really hard not to have that happen. Mom didn't belong in a nursing home. I was kind of with my tail between my legs. I went up to St. Andrews, and St. Andrews isn't an institution, it's a home. And I just didn't know what to do. Well, St. Andrews heard me. They took Mom in, and Mom loves it there. And there's no way she could live by herself, and she can't be here with me. My husband has Alzheimer's. And the difference between being kept alive and being encouraged to live adds not just years to a life, it adds life to a family, generations of a family. She loves life. She's always loved life, and she's still living it. She's not just alive, she's living. At 101, she's still living, and she's healthy. So here we are, my brother and I are in our 70s, and we have that guilt that goes along with Mom should be with us, but she can't be. But we know that she's happier where she is than she would be with us because there are activities to do. And I don't know how to thank a community that is smart enough to have a St. Andrews. It's a wonderful place. Mom, being 101 years old, outlived her estate years ago. And St. Andrews, it turns out, is the only place she could have gone. She would have to have gone to a nursing home because I couldn't keep us all safe anymore. And I don't have the money to put her in a private place. I couldn't possibly have her be anywhere else on the peninsula near me because I couldn't have afforded to do it, and she's outlived her estate. She deserved to be at St. Andrews. She deserves to be living. And no, I'm not surprised that she's made it to 101. But I've already told my family, if they're stuck with me at 101, they should bring me to St. Andrews. I haven't seen another place where I would want to be.
Well, I'm happy you made
So
that
if Dad
work.
was
She speaks
85,
better than
that
us.
makes you.
Are you asking if I'm 85 years old?
Sea turtles live to be 150, so.
This is the Geico
No,
commercial.
I was not.
Yeah. Thank you, Kathy, for sharing that.
Sorry about the technical difficulty.
Perfect. Yeah. I love it.
Isn't that a wonderful movie? Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I think our family and our residents speak better for us than I do. I love being here, but this is not my strong suit. So if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but that was my presentation.
Carmen, would you repeat the date and time again for the work party?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Norm. So it's April 25th. It's a Monday at 4 o'clock, right? So it's before dinner. So we're going to go out and install the bench and put together some potted flowers to go around the bench. And I have a picture to share of the bench if we'd like to see. So it's a sketch. It's a rough sketch that Norm did. Let's see if I can find it here. Here we go. So this is what it's going to look like. The seat backs, the seat back and arms will all be cedar, kind of like what we did for the picnic tables. And then the supports, so the legs and the supports down below are going to be treated lumber. Then I'm working with Laura. We're going to put a placard on here with a nice little quote from Nor'Wester Rotary, and just speaks about this project for St. Andrews. So, and for those of you who haven't seen Norm in action cutting this wood, let me see if I can find a couple pieces. It's pretty, or a couple pictures. So here's one. So Norm cuts them by hand using this. It's a hand mill. Is that what you call it, Norm?
It's a Alaska chainsaw mill.
Alaska chainsaw mill. So it's pretty cool. And then there's one other one that I wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, I love these goggles. Look at, check this out. So this is what the wood looks like before Norm breaks it all down. So this is, you know, one of a kind. This will be a one of a kind bench that we'll create for St. Andrew residents and their guests to gather outside safely, and kind of a beautification project. So we'll be working with Laura on where we want to place that. And Norm, do you need any help putting the bench together, or can we help?
Yes, just going to bring that up. Probably the week prior, if anybody wants to help, I don't think it'll take a lot of time, a couple hours maybe. And I've got all the materials in place. They're just in my shed drying and seasoning a little bit. So maybe the week prior, or right after Easter, something like that, we can get together. I don't have a specific date, but if you're interested in helping, just either send it in the chat or send me an email or call me or do whatever.
I'll be there, Norm.
I'll help, Norm.
Okay, that was Ski and John.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. And anybody else, just let me know.
Kathy.
Well, you know, a presentation
Rob.
on another, there's Roy. So another presentation
Right.
that might be good is some explanation on what the differences is between Medicare and Medicaid as our parents get older. There's a real difference, and it might be an interesting whole sort of discussion among all of us as our parents get older or pass away and experience things like that. So it's a big difference. So anyway, there's an idea, Kathy, for a presentation.
John, that's really good, because that was kind of where my question was going on, the impacts on the caregivers and the facilities, the providers, and then what families and people need to think, because
Yeah, I
it
mean,
carries over so much, even into Laura. My question had to,
Yeah.
John, I got that written down, but
Great.
Laura, it looks like the folks there really like to get out and be part of the community, but you don't have an activities director.
Mhm.
Is that one of your greatest challenges?
It is one of our greatest challenges. Our big point is living life, and providing necessities is kind of an easy part of this, but being able to fulfill their spiritual and community needs, that part's harder. Yeah. We haven't even, St. Andrews, because we're long-term care, we don't even enjoy the same freedoms everybody is now. My residents have to wear masks in their house. We get to take them off when we're in our apartments or the dining room. I think it's kind of crazy. They're wearing their masks in here, and we can take them off when we go outside. They're pretty much safer here inside. We've had to limit our visitations. It is loosening up. At least now, even if someone's unvaccinated, they could still visit. But it can't be in any common areas. It can't be eating. So even though they're living here and they're safe and it's their home, we're still under a lot of restrictions. Even activities, for a long time, we couldn't even take off our masks during activities. And it's surprising how many people actually read lips, okay? We don't know that they're hard of hearing because they're really good at it and they're good at hiding it. But you throw a mask on, everybody's going, what? You know, so social events, those are one of our hardest things to overcome. The cognitive ability, if people don't have the interactions, that's huge. The decline, we saw a lot of that. They think of each other as family. So when we were more isolated, that took a toll on people. There was just a lot of pieces to this that were difficult, were very difficult. And a short overview of the difference between Medicare and Medicaid is everyone has Medicare almost, but it's people who need assisted living and they financially can't afford it. So then they have Medicaid that will pitch in. But Medicaid determines, the state determines what their pay will be. And they take all of their money goes towards their rent. And the state will make up what they call the daily rate. So that make up that portion. But that resident's only left with $62 a month to do with whatever they want. And that's why some people have to pick between cable TV and whether they'd like to go out to lunch with their family. They have to, people who are on Medicaid, we provide the necessities like, you know, undergarments, toothpaste, shampoo. So they don't have to worry about those things. But $62 is not very much to decide if you want a phone or cable TV or those things that we all take for granted. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
I think that really reduces it to the lowest common denominator in terms of having to make decisions on what brings quality to your life.
Yep.
Any other questions, or Carmen, any thoughts?
Oh, I'm just really grateful and thank you, Laura. This was her first Zoom presentation, you guys. I think she nailed it. So thank you, Laura, for coming on and sharing your story and your residence with us. And we really look forward to seeing you next month and installing this bench. And thank you to Norm for your skills and helping us out by creating the special custom piece for St. Andrew's Place. So thank you, Laura, for all you do. I know it's not easy, and you are a saint yourself. So we're very lucky to have you in our community. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank you, Laura.
everything. Thank you.
I would like to say something about Laura. I've worked with her through United Way. Grant's worked with her through United Way and stuff. And I don't know anybody who works harder and has a passion for what she does. So Laura, this is kudos to you for being able to see a hurdle and be able to get over it no matter what. You're an amazing woman. We're friends, and I just think you're a wonderful gal.
Thank you. And thank all of you for the work you do. And I know that volunteering on top of your regular lives is work, but you're making the place a better place. Our community is a better place because of all of you. So thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in front of us today.
Thank you, Laura.